If there's any weapon class that's held my attention most across the vast market of games, it would be shotguns. Their ease of use and effectiveness perfectly balances the risk of having to get up close and personal to some poor sap's buttocks. Basically, shotguns are pretty sick. And so today I've compiled a list of 30 of these close quarter bozos to talk about and rank. Included are some of my favorites and some that I had never used before making this video. I believe it's a good variety, mostly. There will be a few from both Halo and Call of Duty just because they were so hard to narrow down. But that being said, with there being so many shotguns in gaming, I guarantee I missed one you really like. So I might make this part 1 if anybody would like me to include their favorite shotgun whenever I do the next part. Let me hear it. I also have like a solid 20 more I can think of that I only didn't include because either my space on my PC is lacking for capturing gameplay or there were more Call of Duty ones that would have bloated this list. Anyway, before we jump on into our ranking, this video is sponsored by Jesus. Our verse of the day is Isaiah 59:1. Behold, the Lord's hand is not so short that it cannot save, nor his ear so dull that it cannot hear. This is a short but nonetheless great verse, reminding that no matter what situation someone is in, God has the ability to save them. His strength is enough, and he hears those who call on his name. So don't hesitate to call on him for help in whatever you're going through today, and allow his love to wash over you like a rushing river, carrying away with it all of your worries. And if you don't know him today, I'd like to invite you into the family and to accept him as your Savior. It's really simple. All you have to do is believe that Jesus Christ loved you so much that he died on the cross for your sins and rose again, and pray that to God. And then there's nothing you can do to lose that salvation after. Of course, that does not mean you can just go out and freely sin, but it does mean you are indefinitely a child of God. So of course, I hope to see you in heaven one day. And now, onto the video. But okay, before we get started, I gotta list off some criteria. The design, the handling, the usefulness of the weapon will be major contributing factors, but ultimately everything will fall under, will I actively go out of my way to use it, and will I feel awesome while doing it? So yes, it will be very subjective, but I will do my best to explain my feelings. Now, let's jump into this bad boy. Call of Duty Advanced Warfare. The Call of Duty that nobody talks about, except for me, because I am actually quite fond of this game. And in this game is the oh so beautiful TAC-19, a weapon that is such a beefcake, and I love it. It takes orders from nobody but me. I'm this gun's favorite, and the weapon has a bark that sounds like a wet fart of an explosion, which is a good thing, by the way. It's got an awesome bulky design and satisfying handling, and this is my go-to shotty in the game. In terms of shotguns in general though, I don't think it quite hits perfection. There are many more amazing shotguns to come, and so I think this sits comfortably in something standout. Splitgate, a very fun game that combines portals and FPS Halo-style combat. The shotgun is simply delightful to use. The sound design, the model, the reload, the impact of shots, there's really nothing wrong with it. It's just a fun weapon and furthermore a fun shotgun. Gonna also go in something standout right below the TAC. Rubber Bandits, a goofy party game about fighting other criminals and the occasional policeman. The shotgun in this game is good, but so is everything that can be thrown. Don't get me wrong, a shot landed from this bad boy sends your opponents flying to oblivion and back. But literally most of the time, your environment is your weapon, and if you're gonna go for a gun in this game, there are better weapons personally, like the minigun and probably the SMG. But I still do enjoy using this gun. It's still powerful and still packs a punch, and if it's there, of course I'm gonna pick it up. I think it's just gonna go in simply bueno. Lethal Company. I mean, most people know what this game is. Collect scrap for the company, make bank, and avoid death from the monsters ready to end your perilous journey. The shotgun in this game is relatively rare. I've never managed to get one outside of mods, which I know, skill issue, you have to kill the nutcracker enemy to get it, and I am not good enough at this game to do that. But again, through the power of mods, I've used it and can confirm it's a shotgun. Pretty powerful though, able to take out most enemies fairly easily. It still can't kill everything, I believe. Entities like the Coilhead and Barber are immune and a few more, but it definitely makes the game a little less suspenseful, and I do love its inclusion. But because of it being a rare find and not always being reliable against every enemy, unfortunately, yes, it is a shotgun. That may be controversial, I'm not really sure, but I still enjoyed it. Halo Infinite. This is Halo at its best gameplay. However, we've been sorely lacking, in my opinion, a good shotgun. The Bulldog isn't bad, it just doesn't pack the kind of punch I'm looking for in my shotguns. So thank goodness for Halo Studios adding the Mutilator. I used it and instantly knew it had to be on this list. This gun has the sauce. It's a double-barreled brute shotgun, which alone is awesome, but it comes with an alt fire where you can shoot both shells at once, and on top of that, it has a gravity hammer styled melee, which is satisfying on all fronts. This gun is really friggin' good. Now, I would put it in perfection, but because it's new and I haven't used it a crazy amount, I think it's gonna sit at the top of something standout. There's a good chance it'll move up in the future, but for now, I'm comfortable with it being here. Ultrakill, a fast-paced FPS game that most people have probably heard of, at least if you're a PC gamer. The shotgun in this game is the definition of perfection. There's your basic shotgun, which does enough damage on its own and has a design I'm quite a fan of. But you also have 3 alts at your disposal: an explodey boy, a chainsaw boy, and a pump charge boy. All of these are insanely awesome to use, literally some of the most fun I've had with any shotgun, also this game as well. Literally some of the most fun I've had in any game, so you should definitely check it out. Shotgun King. Basically chess, but you only have a king and his shotgun. For this case, it's the Solomon, because that's the only gun I have unlocked at the moment. But this is just a hilarious idea for a game. This one is more hinging on the idea of the game more so than the shotgun itself, because I mean, it's a shotgun, it's nothing new, nothing crazy, but I love this idea and how it's implemented so much that it's instantly propelled to utterly perfectionly. It's just cool. There are different shotguns you can also use in the game, however, I personally have not progressed that far, but I am planning to. Risk of Rain 2, a roguelike where you progress by collecting loot, beating bosses, teleporting into new worlds, and so on. There are 2 shotgun characters in this game. One will be saved for part 2, again if I make it, but the one I'm going with today is the Bandit. The Bandit shotgun, or as it's called, blast ability, carries 4 shots before needing to reload and has considerably generous range. But I'm just gonna say it, this shotgun is a little disappointing. On one hand, it's not bad, it kills well enough, but for a shotgun, it really doesn't feel as powerful as it could be. Ultimately, I think the design for it is pretty cool alongside the Bandit as a character, but there's just a whole host of other characters I'd prefer to use over the Bandit. It is still usable, but I think what carries the Bandit a lot more is his other abilities that kind of assist it in combat. It's funny though, because going into this, I thought this would actually be a lot higher, but you know, that's the way this works. Apex Legends, our first battle royale on this list, and it of course has the incredible Peacekeeper. I had never used this gun before working on this video, but the moment it rested its sleek model in my hands, and that reload did a fancy, and that charge shot obliterated, I knew this was a special weapon. Yeah, I like this one. Same thing applies as it did to the Mutilator though. I haven't used it a crazy amount and I feel like I need to improve with it, so I don't quite feel comfortable putting it in perfection, so it goes right below the Brute Boy in something standout. Doom Eternal. Yeah, kill demons, yeah, use awesome weapons and other stuff, but of course, the game includes the beloved Super Shotgun, how could I not include it? And before I even get into the nitty gritty, straight up, we know it's utterly perfectionly, right below Ultrakills. The gun's a double-barreled monster that does insane damage, and we can't fail to mention that incredible meat hook, both in how it looks and feels to use. Whoever thought to add a grapple to a shotgun? I mean, come on, give them that raise right now. It's so much fun, it does so much damage, and I mean, come on, we love to see it. Team Fortress 2, yet another FPS game, and yeah, this game has a good assortment of shotguns, but we're going to be talking specifically about the Scout's scattergun, the default of his weapons. This thing is pretty solid, it has a cool design, and I love the reload. It's just a generally good shotgun, and I don't have much to say on it, to be honest. So the bottom of something standout, I think it's good, so baka baka with a little paprika on the top. Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War, another Call of Duty I find pretty overhated. It had its flaws for sure, but genuinely, I had a lot of fun in this game. But of course, we're here to talk about shotguns, and this game has my beloved Hauer 77. There's something that just puts a smile on my face using this gun. It's not the flashiest by any means, but it has a pretty perfect weapon model, and it feels good to shoot, it's powerful, and all in all, I like this guy. He's invited to my birthday. Yeah, it's gonna go just above Doom Eternal's Super Shotgun. Okay, now hear me out before everybody comes at me in the comments. I understand. By objective standards, the Doom Eternal shotgun is better, it's more powerful, it has that me hook, which adds a whole other layer of gameplay, but I think the reason I just prefer the Black Ops Cold War one is simply because of my personal connection to it. There is literally I kept trying to come up with a reason over and over, and I could not understand why I preferred this over the Doom Eternal shotgun, and I literally just think it's because this is the game I played all the time during the pandemic, and this was just my comfort shotgun. Alright, enough justifying this. We already know my opinion is the correct one. Let's move on. Worms Clan Wars, a tactical game about killing your fellow worms with unimaginable methods. A giant donkey statue? Yes please. An exploding grandma? Most definitely. A shotgun? Okay, well now, you've gone too far. The shotgun in this game is your standard shotgun. It does decent damage and you get 2 shots per round. It's solid, but also be aware it can damage you if you're standing too close to an enemy when firing. For that alone, I mean, I think I gotta knock it to yes, it's a shotgun, but again, it's not bad, it's got its downsides. Payday 2 is a game about performing heists, collecting that bag, and of course, using some awesome weapons, and among those weapons is the Winchester 1887. Look at this boy. Look at him work. He is my favorite boy. He's what you would call the cool kid in school, but he's a cool kid with substance and not like all the fakes. This gun is so much fun to use, and you feel like an action hero doing so. Of course, the gun is only as good as its wielder, and oh man, never mind, this gun is out of my league. But you use this bad boy, and you'll go from looking like this to looking like this. So, of course, this gun is perfection. Great handling, great damage, and overall, yes. Halo Combat Evolved. Now we progress to our standard Halo shotgun. Some might even say the Halo shotgun. What do I think? Yeah, it's really good. Carrying heaps of ammo alongside great handling and great damage. Now design-wise, we definitely have better models from later games, but it does its job well enough, and I like this gun. Going straight into perfectionly, right below Doom Eternal. 20 Minutes Till Dawn. This game is about surviving... 20 minutes till dawn. Shotgun! This one is more or less your standard shotgun, but what's cool is its upgrades. You've got Focus Blast, Dual Wield, and Melee Shot, Dual Wield being my favorite, because dual wielding feels awesome. But yeah, there's a lot of weapons to choose from, and so I wouldn't say the shotgun is the best in the game, but still, it does a good enough job fending off hordes of enemies, and the upgrades add some depth to the weapon. Something stand out right above TF2. Star Wars Battlefront 2 2017. Now you might be thinking, this game doesn't have any main shotgun weapons, and you're correct. The shotgun in this game is given to the assault class and takes up an ability slot. You get roughly 5 shots with it before it goes on cooldown, and first off, I love the design, being very reminiscent to the Republic Commando Trandoshan shotgun, which I probably would have used instead in this video had the game actually been working and let me record it, but unfortunately, the game decided to be a poo-poo bun chic and grab my toes and suckle them dry. But alas, it's okay. The shotgun is still pretty cool, although maybe this is a skill issue, but it's always felt a little harder to get a spree of kills when most of the time I feel like I'm getting killed from off in the distance by weapons with better range. In which case, the weapon can be a little difficult to master, but still I think it deserves a spot in Simply Bueno, right above Rubber Bandits. For what it is as an ability, it gets the job done. Pummel Party, basically a Mario Party clone that's unique in its own right. There's technically 2 types of shotguns in this game. One is the shotgun you can get on the board, and the other in the minigame Barn Brawl. For this video, we'll only be talking about the board game version, which there's not a lot to go off of. You pull out a shotgun, you shoot, you deal serious damage, and yeah, the thing does do a solid amount of damage, so simply bueno. Alright everybody, the moment you've all been waiting for. Good old Fortnite, I haven't touched you in so long. This game has had an insane variety of shotguns, and of course, everyone's favorite is the OG, the classic, the beautiful pump shotgun. Too bad we're not here to talk about it though. No, today we're talking about the tac shotgun, a shotgun that has always lived in the shadow of its more well-known brother, but I like it. The thick-looking model, the generous spread, and the faster fire rate are a few of the things that always caught my attention as a noob. It's just made for me and all the other less than stellar Fortnite players out there. We love you, TAC. It goes right above Splitgate. Halo 4. Not another Halo people were probably expecting to see on this list, but the reason I include its shotgun is because I actually quite like this thing. And I mean, if you've seen my shorts, you probably know that already. There's something about it. It's got a meaty crunch of a sound. It handles like every other Halo shotgun, but performs well, it's powerful, and even the design. I know, Halo 4 gets flack for its art style, but there's something about it. I can't put my finger on it. It's something about this futuristic, bulky design, with all these little details. There's just something that just appeals to me and my brain about this thing. It also helps that I'm a contrarian and like to go against the norm. However, I do think the Halo Combat Evolved shotgun just performs a bit better. Therefore, I will put it right below it. Banana Shooter, an FPS game that enrages me like no other. Oh my goodness, I'm just getting trauma thinking about it.
Broadsword be like a one-shot kill. Oh, domain expansion flow state. Domain expansion flow state. Domain expansion flow state. No panicking in here. Domain expansion.
Dude.
I am him. No, on my flow state.
This game has two types of shotguns, but we'll just be looking at the regular. Originally, the shotgun was not set to be that high on this list because there's so many fast-killing weapons in this game that it just didn't stand out. And then my friend Kobe decided to tell me as I was making this video that you can use it to launch yourself in the air. So, rewriting this part, thanks for letting me know that before I wrote the script, Kobe! Again, damage-wise, the weapon isn't super notable, but being able to have a height advantage with this thing actually helps the weapon feel useful in the sandbox. It's something stand out. I really enjoy it, now that I know its proper usage. Stick Fight, a game where you play as stick figures, duking it out for supremacy, and once again, this game has a few shotguns. There's the military and sawed-off regulars, but a very interesting one and very unique to this list, the Snake Shotgun. A shotgun that shoots out snakes that will either bombard your enemy, drowning them in a sea of stringed greenery, or backfire and turn on you. It's a very funny weapon that also, as all shotguns have the potential to do in this game, may knock you backwards off the map. It's simply a bueno weapon, with both positives and funny drawbacks. BPM Bullets Per Minute. One of my favorite games with a very unique style of gameplay, having to jump, dash, and shoot to the beat of the music. There's a nice variety of weapons you use, some being not that good and some being amazing. One of those being the sawed-off shotgun. This weapon is so fun to use. The sounds are excellent, the reload is quick, and the thing packs a decent punch, though maybe one of the only downsides is its range. But it's a very enjoyable weapon, unlike some of its fellow compatriots. Looking at you, utterly perfectionally, right above Shotgun King. Friends vs. Friends, another unique style of FPS. This one, you play several rounds where you're given different stacks of cards that either mildly or drastically change the game. And in those cards can sometimes come different weapons. Yeah, you know where I'm going with this. The shotgun in this game is a good shotgun. It hits hard, feels good to use, and overall, I don't have any notable complaints. But on top of the base shotgun, you get a card that allows you to dual wield any weapon, and of course, that applies to this shotgun. Dual wielding this thing is pretty dang awesome, and it definitely brings it even higher than it would have been. I think it's pretty good, though I wouldn't say I'm as attached to it as I've been to others on this list, so something stand out, right below AW. Spiderheck, a game that for some reason none of my friends like, but I think this game is pretty darn epic. You play as a spider on either PvP or PvE levels where you do some insane parkour while using a variety of unique weapons to fend for your life. And we do have a few shotguns in this game, of course, but we're gonna just be picking the regular shotgun. I love its yellow and blue design as well as its decent range, and it has a few shots as well before you run out of ammo, and it's good. Not top tier or anything, but I like it. I think it goes right below Stick Fight in simply bueno. Objectively, the Stick Fight snake gun might be worse, but I enjoy using it more than this one. Trepang 2, an insane game with insanely fast combat and an insane shotgun at that. It's your classic looking Spaz 12, but this shotgun packs some serious punch and it's quite fun to use. It's flashy and over the top in all the right areas, and like Friends vs. Friends, this bad boy can be dual wielded. I just haven't gotten that far in the game yet. But don't worry, I will, because this is what you call a quality fun time. But back to the shotgun, even without the benefit of dual wielding, this weapon still rocks, and I can't wait until I reach the point where I do get to dual wield it. Utterly, perfectionally, right below Halo 4, a lot of people might prefer it to the Halo shotguns. I just have stronger ties to the Halo shotties. Superhot. I'm honestly not sure if the regular version or the VR version of the game is more popular, but the regular version is still pretty fun. It's another FPS with a fun gimmick that allows you to slow time whenever you're not moving in order to easily maneuver and dodge enemy weapons and bullets. Now, the shotgun in this game is once again your standard shotgun. It kills on impact, as all weapons in this game do, but it only has a couple of shots before you toss it aside to move on to the next weapon. It's good in some aspects, but mostly forgettable in my opinion. I do use it, but I'll always pick up a rifle, railgun, or even a pistol when given the option instead of this. So yes, it's a shotgun. Bigfoot, a game about hunting Bigfoot. I mean, what else did you think it would be about? And of course, what would this game be without a shotgun? Well, it wouldn't be too different, honestly. The shotgun kinda sucks, but as do most weapons in this game against Bigfoot. That's the idea, that he's basically a bullet sponge of a boss. Now, the shotgun does do considerable damage compared to other weapons, but it is still a shotgun and not super quick with it. You see, Bigfoot, he's not a very chill guy, not very patient. While you're trying to reload, he very well might grab you, plop you flat on your nog, and spank your cheeks until they're red. So, I've split. Positives being high damage and negatives being a bit slower than other weapons, except for you. But not by a huge margin, but I'm gonna be honest, I find it a little disappointing. Maybe that's a bit harsh because of the type of game it is. I'm just not super crazy about it, and visually and audibly, it doesn't really do anything too special either, so I'm not too attached to it in any major way. So for now, it's gonna go at the bottom of our list. Doorkicker's Action Squad, a 2D side-scroller about killing enemies, rescuing hostages, and defusing bombs. It's a very fun game, which I do recommend. In fact, I recommend every game on this list. But in this game, you have a variety of characters at your disposal, one of those being the Breacher, my other beloved. This man is a hefty boy, and he has a solid selection of shotguns, my favorite being the M870 Room Clearer. It does meaty damage and breezily takes out enemies. Its main downside is that it's not very good when dealing with rooms filled with hostages, but anyway, yeah, overall, another banger. Something stand out right below Banana Shooter. And finally, COD Black Ops 3, and we're talking about the Argus. The Argus is a beautiful lever action shotgun with a very unique design, dealing good damage and having a smexy reload. When I think of shotguns in Call of Duty, this boy is on the list. Now, that being said though, I like it a lot, but I don't know if I could put it in utterly perfectionally standing with all of these legends, so I'm going to stick it in something standout, below the Peacekeeper. It's one of those things that I find difficult to explain, but I still love it. And of course, oh, that's the list. Okay, well, that was quick. Anyway, a solid variety, if I do say so myself. I think it'd be a lot of fun to do other videos like this with either other weapon classes or once again a second part for shotguns. And feel free to share your favorite video game shotguns and weapons down in the comments below. I hope you all enjoyed. And I love you all. Have a blessed day. My butt cheeks hurt from sitting down so long, so I'm going to stand up now. And peace. Wait, what happened?
It's in the shower back here.
Oh.
Bruh.
That's disgusting.
Get out of the shower! Oh my gosh, I'm sorry!
You know,
I'm sorry!